One of the most iconic characters in our movie Splatfest Fight Against Tartar is Miss Infinity. Despite Splatfest being her only appearance in the CM universe so far, her character actually seems quite interesting, but it was barely fleshed out in the movie. In this video, we're going to explain Miss Infinity's entire life story in the CM universe so far. This will cover her appearance in Splatfest, as well as some other extra CM stuff that she might have appeared in. Now, there will be major spoilers in this video for all CM content, so there's your warning. Now let's get started. Miss Infinity was created in 1984 by the Apple Corporation. Back then, Miss Infinity was very different. Her name wasn't even Miss Infinity. She was originally a program called Mrs. Advance that came with Apple's first Macintosh computer. Miss Advance's original purpose in mind was to become a household object that everyone could use, and she was able to answer even the most complex questions out there. Miss Advanced instantly became a huge success, and in the United States alone, 4 million copies of it were already sold. Over the years, Miss Advanced became super popular, and sometimes in people's houses, she would even take control of the entire house like an AI system. Most people were very impressed with this, and by 2010, when AIs first started becoming viral, they decided to make Miss Infinity an AI system as well. Her name was also officially changed from Miss Advanced to Miss Infinity. Miss Infinity was not only a very powerful AI system, but she was also put in the internet as its entire ruler. Infinity was equipped with so many different powers and abilities. She was able to teleport herself and other people to other places instantly, use Google Maps to find directions to places, predict how long something would be perfectly.
Going home. He'll be here in 1 hour, 45 minutes, and 52.7 seconds.
Ow! I've been falling for 1 hour, 45 minutes, and 52.67 seconds! And even bring people back to life if they die. Along with Infinity's internet ruling ability, she was also the ruler of video games as well, and could even create video game characters. A few years after Infinity became an AI, Nintendo released a video game called Splatfest that became very popular instantly. Infinity was of course involved with it and had to create some characters and other things about the game. She started with its main characters, Pearl and Marina, and then started making its levels and stages. She also began working on its hardest boss named Tartar. It wasn't long though before Tartar was discarded because it was way too hard. So hard in fact that he was upgrading himself to an internet-wide virus to become unstoppable to even Mrs. Infinity. After finding this out, Infinity sent Rosalina from Racecar to take Tartar down, knowing that she can't delete Tartar anymore. But this still didn't work, as Tartar shot at her, making Rosalina become under his control. Tartar forced Rosalina to take Miss Infinity down, which Rosalina obeyed, but Infinity simply released Rosalina from Tartar's control. After finding out that sitting video game characters at Tartar would do nothing, she decided to make a prophecy to take someone from the real world and send them to kill Tartar. Infinity believed that real-life people would have a better chance at defeating Tartar than other video game characters. But Infinity had to get a very good expert Splatfest to help them defeat Tartar. For the next 10 years, Infinity didn't see a single player of Splatfest good enough to defeat Tartar. But one day, a teenage girl from Texas named Anya got a Nintendo Switch along with Splatfest and absolutely loved it. And shortly afterwards, she invited her friends Andy and Riley to come over and play the Switch for themselves too. They too absolutely loved it, and that night, the three of them spent hours playing Splatfest and almost completed the first stage. But when they got to the last level, they were very tired and decided to go to bed. Despite them being new to the game, Infinity was impressed by their excellent skills of completing the first stage within the night, and was really considering choosing them to kill Tartar. The next day, the group woke up and finally completed the first stage, and Infinity officially decided to choose them. Infinity opened up a portal on their TV and sucked in Andy, Anya, Riley, and Andy's younger brother Lance into the game. Infinity then introduced herself to the group.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Splatfest. I am Mrs. Infinity, the all-knowing, out-programmed control of all video games and the internet.
When Infinity showed Lance the boss he was about to fight, Lance was not having it and demanded to be sent back. Okay, I'm not on board with this. Can you send me back?
Sure. Now fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a long, bumpy ride.
After introducing herself to the group a bit more, she told them about their secret mission to find and kill Tartar. She then told the group that in order to find Tartar, they would need to find Pearl and Marina to do so, and from here on, they would be on their own. Infinity then left. The group completed a level and found Pearl Marina, and from there, they completed many levels and stages and got to the 30th stage. When they got there, however, they were no match, as Tartar destroyed their weapons and blasted them to the ground, taking away most of their health. Pearl and Marina then called Infinity after being told about what happened, but Infinity said no, as all characters must remain in their own
Sorry,
game.
Pearl and Marina, I can't do that. All the video game characters must remain in their own game.
But when Andy showed her just how much Tartar disarmed them, and Pearl saying that other characters helping them are their only hope, Infinity reluctantly agreed and took them to the internet. This trip turned out to be pretty quick, however, as Sonic the Hedgehog came in and got a bunch of other characters to help them instantly. Infinity left before the group went to face Tartar, but Tartar sent all of the characters except for Marina, Anya, Andy, and Riley under his control. And just when Pearl was about to make the final blow, Infinity came in and released them from Tartar's control.
You are a part of your own game, you have your own friends, and you are a part of the true internet, not a virus. Marina? Pearl! You're back and all of you are back too!
Yes, we are.
Right after this, however, Tartar became Super Tartar and took control of the entire internet and every single video game character and forced them to kill Anya, Andy, Riley, and Miss Infinity and Marina. It was an all-out battle between Tartar and his hypnotized army and the true internet. At the end of the battle, Miss Infinity lifted Riley, Anya, and Andy up in the air, and together they blasted Tartar to the ground, killing Tartar once and for all. This came at a cost, however, as Riley, Anya, and Andy were also killed, but Infinity brought them back to life. Infinity.
Tartar, he's gone. We won! Yup, the internet is saved. Well,
Pearl and Marina knew they had to make a new boss for Splatfest to keep their players entertained, and Miss Infinity predicted the exact time it would be to take to make it.
14 months, 2 weeks, 7 days, 8 hours, 46 minutes, and 44.68 seconds to be exact. Well,
Now that Tartar was finally destroyed, it was now time for Anya, Andy, and Riley to come back to the real world where they belong. Before she sent them back, she told Andy to say hi to his girlfriend for her.
now fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a long, bumpy ride. And Andy, say hi to your girlfriend for me.
I will. Over a year after defeating Tartar, Miss Infinity created a new boss for Splatfest and she named it Logan. She made sure he wouldn't become rogue like Tartar and take complete control of other video game characters, and brought him to life. Who am I?
You are the new boss of Splatfest. I am Mrs. Infinity, your creator.
She told him about his dangerous predecessor and how he was defeated by Anya, Andy, and Riley, and made sure that didn't happen to him. Logan was put at the 20th stage, and whoever beat him gets $500,000. Logan was worried that he would die, but Infinity ensured that he would be brought to life every time he dies to keep their players entertained. Miss Infinity sent him to Splatfest for the first time.
Go make our players happy. I have high hopes for you.
And that is the complete life of Miss Infinity in the CM universe so far. Infinity has come a long way from being a household object by Apple to become the literal ruler of the internet itself. Infinity is one of the smartest people in the CM universe and was always referred to as a hero. This of course is not the end of Infinity's story, but we may be including her in future movies. If we do include her in future movies, we'll be sure to make an update video of this, but for now, this is all we have for you. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give this video a like, share it with a friend, and make sure to subscribe to Mations too, and turn on notifications so you don't miss another one of our videos. You can also follow us on Instagram for more extras besides these during videos, as well as subscribe to our main channel, Mations, where you can watch our actual movies. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.